comments. Today I'm going to give you my June wrap-up, which is all the books that I read in the month of June. So in June, I started by finishing the Talent series with Inferno. As you know, with the Talent series, every cover is absolutely magnificent, so is this one. If you want to know more about the Talent series, you can go check out my April and May wrap-ups, which explain everything. So I only have spoilery thoughts on Inferno, so I'm going to put a whatever emoji, and when it comes down you can continue the video without being spoiled. So Inferno was a really good conclusion, even though I thought that more people would be dying, honestly. I at least thought that more of the main characters would die, especially Ember, Garrett and Riley have been through too many close calls, in my opinion, to still be alive in the end. Especially Riley. I thought he would die, honestly. But then Mist came into the story and I was like, okay, now he has a love story, he has to stay alive. But still, I feel like Riley wasn't that much of an important character. I mean, his death would have enabled Ember to grow a lot more into her responsibility. I don't want him to die, but like in a narrative point of view, he should have died, I think. But anyway, it's not my book. Julie Kagawa did an amazing job, and I can't say I'm better than her because I'm clearly not. I was a tiny bit disappointed by the ending because I really wanted this huge fight between two ginormous dragons. Like, I wanted either Ouroboros or the Archivist to come into the final battle and fight the Elder World, because that would have been awesome. But instead she got shot by the Dragon Killer, which is not that bad. Still, I would have really liked two giant dragons fighting each other. I already knew what would happen to Garrett because it was really obvious. From the moment where he first recovered super quickly, I knew that he was going to be immortal, because Julie Kagawa kind of likes the romance to end in a good way, so Garrett couldn't just die at the end of his human lifespan. I do like romances that end in a good way, so I really like that decision. So in the end, Inferno was a really thrilling conclusion to this series. It was really action-packed, there was a lot of tension, and it really opens up to a whole new world full of possibilities. So after having finished the Talent series, I really wanted to pick up a standalone novel. So I picked up The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. And honestly, I didn't expect to find this book this funny. It's like he thought about all the funny things that would happen if someone was invisible, and he just put them all in this book. It's really hilarious. The style of writing really exacerbates the awkward / incongruous situations, because you feel like there is like a very strict definition of what is normal, and then a pure astonishment because a stick is floating in the air and coming towards you and you don't understand why. And there are like situations where it's completely absurd. Like at one point he was like he poked a man with his invisible finger, and the man just exploded with panic, and it was so hilarious. So since these people are completely ignorant of the science fiction of today, it shows the discrepancy between our two cultures, because we would have an explanation for someone that is invisible. We would have thought that, you know, seeing a hat and clothes that move and you can still touch the person, we would have concluded that this person is invisible. They don't. They actually think there's nothing there. And that's completely absurd, and it's hilarious because they don't understand anything. So yeah, really, you should read this book. It's really funny. It's really short as well. It was a good break from like big series. So afterwards, I continued the Batman comic book series with the third installment, which is, I'm not sure if I'm translating correctly, but I'd say The Loss of the Family or The the morning of the family. I'm not exactly sure since I'm reading these comic books in French. I don't know if I should show you the cover because it's kind of like not a happy sight. Here, I warned you. So yeah, I can't really talk about it because it's the third comic book and it follows the same story as the first and second comics. Even though it's the same timeline, it's not the same story because each volume has its own story and every comic book has an ending. Even though the second one is really linked to the first one, this one is a little less. It just mentions the events of the first and second comic books. I guess you could read it without reading the first and second ones, but still it would just be sad. And the last book is actually a book that I'm surprised of having finished because I wasn't really intending it to finish. I don't know. I finished Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on audiobook. I had tried to reread for the third time, I think, the Harry Potter series, but I got to like chapter 3 when Hagrid says that the only secure place besides Hogwarts is Gringotts, and I knew how crucial this phrase was, so I started crying. So yeah, I got too emotional. So I couldn't go on with the book. And then at one point I had a headache and I couldn't use my eyes anymore. I had to close them and I was like, I'm not sleepy, I'm not going to go to sleep. So instead I put on this audiobook that I found on YouTube and I just listened to it, and then I started to listen to it while walking to somewhere, and then I started to listen to it while running, which helped me a lot because it made me forget that I was actually running, because I have a really hard time with running. I need to forget that I'm actually doing exercise. And so in the end I was listening to it in the evening and then I just dropped it and took out the book and finished the last pages. So I finished it in the month of June. And I was surprised. And yeah, I'm really intending on continuing the Harry Potter series, but in audiobook, because it's really practical. I love audiobooks now. I know it depends a lot upon the narrator, but even if it's a bad narrator, it's not really bad, it's just a question of taste. I would read it anyway. So yeah, I'm really happy because I like listening to audiobooks, but in normal speed. So it takes a lot of time, but it really feels like coming home every time. And I hadn't had that feeling in a long while, so I'm really happy to be going back to Hogwarts with Harry, Ron and Hermione, because I don't know how she does it, but like Hogwarts really feels like home. And yeah, I'm just glad to be back. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Share with me in the comments which book you read and if you plan on reading them. If you're a Potterhead, you can tell me which house you're in. I'm in Ravenclaw. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!